Alright, so today we're going to be checking out bar chords. Bar chords can be quite challenging, so take your time with it and be patient and just keep clocking up your hours and let's get this done. Okay, so where do these come from? So these bar chord shapes are based on 4 open chord shapes. And the 4 open chord shapes are E, E minor, A, and A minor. Let me give you an example. So what we're going to do here is take an E chord, and what I'm going to do is change the fingering slightly. So it's still an E chord, but just with different fingers now. And what I'm going to do with my index finger is recreate the end of the guitar where that white bit is, and I'm going to do that with my index finger. So what that allows me to do is move that E chord shape around the guitar. So if we move everything up a semitone or 1 fret, then we've got an F chord. And if we move everything up another semitone, we've got an F sharp or G flat chord, and then G, G sharp, A flat, A, and so on. It's one of the great advantages of playing the guitar, where it allows us to move these shapes around. Whereas if you were to do that on the piano, it'd be a different fingering every time and it'd be a little more complicated. Now, so what I was doing there was moving around the E major shape, so you can also do that with the E minor chord. So if we move that up 1 fret, we've got F minor, G minor, and we can do the same with the A major chord. So if we move everything up 1 fret, we've got A sharp, B flat major, B major, C major, A minor, A sharp, B flat minor, B minor, C. So what we're going to do now is play some E string shapes. So what that means is we're going to be finding our bass note on the E string. So our bass note determines the name of the chord. So for example, if we find this note on the 3rd fret, that is a G, and we apply this major E string shape to that, then we get a G major chord. So we find our G on the 3rd fret, flatten your index finger across all the strings. And one little piece of advice here, what you want to try and do is have your thumb kind of on the back of the neck, about between halfway and 3/4 of the way up the neck. So we don't want to have the thumb around here for doing this, it makes it very difficult. And we want to have a little gap here underneath the neck of the guitar. So that allows us to bring our hand around. Now, when we're flattening all the strings with our index finger, what we want to be doing is using kind of more the side of our index finger, because that seems like it's a little bit harder and should make it a little bit easier to press down, rather than like flat on right in the middle of your finger. What you want to do is just slightly on the side there. And the other thing is just do it nice and close to the fret. So let's try that. Let's see if we can get these notes to come out just with the index finger. And one other action that I sort of tell people to try when they're doing their bar chords is to try and use this technique where you pull the neck of the guitar towards you. So normally when we're playing things on the guitar, what we're doing is sort of clamping our left hand like a crab and sort of clamping the notes in between our hands. But when we're doing this, it's good to think of this action where you're pulling the neck of the guitar towards you. Now when you do that, the guitar wants to pop out there, but you're kind of holding it into place with your right elbow. What we want to do is try and use a combination of both of those things, where you're pulling the neck of the guitar towards yourself and also clamping it like a crab. Now let's add the rest of these notes to make the major shape. So we're going to have your first finger flattened across there like we talked about, and then you put your second finger on the third string, and then your third finger on the fifth string, and pinky on the fourth string. And run through string by string and try and get all those notes to come out. Now it takes a while. If you're new to these, it's very unlikely that you're getting all those notes there, but just keep practicing it. Try curling your fingers around and be patient. Alright, the next one we're going to do is an A minor chord. So our A bass note we're going to find on the E string. So we've got E, we're going to work our way up the E string here. E, F, G, A on the 5th fret. Flatten our first finger across all those notes and add our minor shape, which is the same as the previous one, but just without the second finger. Alright, so the examples I've written out, or the chord progression that I've asked you to practice here, is a G major bar chord, and then to an A minor bar chord, and then G major, so try that as an exercise to get you started, and maybe do that for a week and see how you go, and then add in the A string shapes. Alright, so now we're on to our A string shapes. So like I mentioned before, these are based on the A chord and the A minor chord. So as our example, let's start with a C major chord, which we're going to do like this. This time when we're doing A string shapes, what we want to do is flatten our index finger across the first string all the way to the 5th string, like this. And there's one other important thing happening here. What we're doing is muting the lowest sounding string with the tip of our index finger, just like we did with our power chords. So don't flatten your index finger across all the strings, just across the 5 strings, and then mute the lowest sounding string with the tip of your index finger. And for our major shape, we're going to add these fingers here. Now I find that quite difficult. I think it's worth practicing it and being able to do it, but for me personally, when I am playing bar chords and using that shape, I prefer to use this one here. With this one, I'm flattening my 3rd finger across the 4th string, 3rd string, and 2nd string, and I'm muting the 1st string. So that's kind of the disadvantage of that. You don't get to hear the 1st string. Alright, so hopefully you can see that okay. See what I'm doing there? The next shape we're going to do is a D minor chord. So we find our D on the A string on the 5th fret, using your little diagram there. Remember to mute the lowest sounding string with the tip of your index finger and add the minor shape to that. So 2nd finger, 3rd finger, and 4th finger there. The progression we're going to practice here is C and then to D minor. Good. Well, I hope that all makes sense. Good luck with that. And after this point, once you've worked through those exercises and you understand how to put these together, what you want to do is try and learn some songs. So the 2 examples I'll have here to get you started are Hotel California, which combines some open chords with a couple of bar chords, and also 3 Little Birds, the Bob Marley song. Alright, so good luck with that. Be patient, like I said. They're tricky. Just take your time and have your expectations in the right place. Like these can take a long time for some people, months and months. And so just take your time, be patient, do a little bit every day, and you'll get there. All right, good luck.